Today, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the real-time machine film. Which other film transports us into their world and gives us this immersive experience? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is already quite old, 5 years. A long time in the life of cinema. 2019, shot by Quentin Tarantino. It is a love declaration to Hollywood in 1969, even though Hollywood was in a deep crisis at that time. It seemed to have lost its fortune to TV. The best westerns were made in Europe. At the same time, Vietnam and flower power ruled, but Hollywood didn't reflect this. Tarantino's film tells a story around a B-film actor on a downward trajectory, and in a second strand about a young, beautiful and innocent actress called Sharon Tate. Most of the audience knows that she was murdered in that very year, and this is the unnerving subtext of this film. For all those who haven't seen the film, I don't want to say more. There are many films about Hollywood and many of them are masterpieces. And when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out, many critics set out lists of those films that portrayed Hollywood. Tarantino's film is absolutely among the best of them. However, I would like to highlight a different feature of this film I noticed. Tarantino recreates this time perfectly, and so much so that you start to believe that you are on the streets of LA, that this was filmed in 1969. It is this experience as if we are there, right in the cars, listening to the radio programs of that time, on the highways, passing the billboards with a contemporary film advertisement. To be honest, not a lot has changed in LA since then, apart from the cars, the advertisement and the fashion of course, but still it is an achievement that this film works like a time machine. How does he achieve this? Well, it's a mix of production design, careful camera framing and diegetic sound design. Music here is used to recreate the time. The slower pace of storytelling helps a lot as well. It allows the audience to take note of the surroundings and suddenly you are absorbed. This film is actually rather like slow European cinema, the very opposite of what Hollywood was always about. There are not many films that manage to give this feeling as if you are there. Most of them are too focused on their stories. Here are 4 films which gave me these goosebumps. And they are not only time travels, or meanwhile they are actually. There is Salam Bombay by Mira Naik. She filmed on the streets of Bombay, and this makes the film a very special experience. But maybe it's also because, as a European, this is a different world. While Salam Bombay was shot in contemporary India, American Graffiti, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, was a journey back in time, which tells the story of teenagers in the last summer night of 1962. The film was shot in 1973. It's the diegetic soundtrack of the 60s and the cars that makes the trick. Chungking Express by Wong Kar-wai was shot in Hong Kong. Even though it contradicts everything I said before, why a film manages to create this immersive feeling, this is a fast-paced film even with distorted slow shutter images, but the camera work is so atmospheric and real that the audience is absorbed in the world of 90s Hong Kong. Maybe the neon-lit and dirty spaces help as well. By the way, unbelievable, but this film is 30 years old. From Chungking Express, there's only a short way to Blade Runner, even though it is set in the future. But everything is designed to be immersive. Despite a nice script and all the ingredients as the sequel of Blade Runner couldn't repeat this incredible immersive effect. It must have had to do with the rains, the neon lights and the soundscape. You might notice that none of these films is black and white. None of these films has been made before 1972. There were black and white films that wanted to depict life. In fact, many documentaries were shot in black and white as a sign of realism, as color film looked too unreal. The Austrian film director Louis Trenker filmed in the depression-plagued street of New York in 1934. This film has amazing guerrilla-style shots, but the sound was added later and creates a wall of artifice. In 1956, a documentary on the Bowery takes the audience in this street of depravity. The footage is raw, the camera is observant, but also often in unnatural angles and rough editing, a distance is created. Technically, there are no hurdles to shoot on location nowadays, but still, it doesn't happen often to get this immersive, somewhat impressionist sensation. Maybe it's not just the cinematography, the sound or the editing, but the story that is firmly planted in the location and its time. I hope you liked this episode, and if you have films that created for you this sensation of I'm there, just make a note in our comments.